Are you an Aussie who dreams about traveling and exploring Italy? Then keep watching, this video is for you. Why? Because today we'll talk about a little known opportunity that could change the way you travel. I'm talking about the working holiday visa. Most people don't even realize that Italy offers one. But yes, it exists, and today we'll see how it works and everything that there's to know about it. Ciao a tutti and welcome back to the Italianforawhile channel, your go-to destination for all things Italy. If you haven't done it yet, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks on how to make the most out of your experience in Italy. And now, back to today's topic, the working holiday visa. This visa lets you live in Italy for up to a full year. And not only that, but it also gives you the chance to work during your stay, to fund your adventure, for example, but even just to try a different working environment, making it more flexible than other types of visas. In this guide, we'll walk you through how the working holiday visa for Italy works, who's eligible, how to apply, and what happens after you actually get it. So no matter if you're already planning your trip or if you just found out about this opportunity, stay with us, you're in the right place. So let's start, shall we? First of all, let's see why Aussies can come to live and work in Italy for up to a year. Usually when Aussies think about working holiday visa, other places come to their mind, like UK, like Japan, Canada. This is because most of them are still not aware about this bilateral agreement existing between Italy and Australia. This working holiday agreement allows Italians to go and live and work in Australia, and in return, it allows Aussies to live and work in Italy for up to 12 months. This means that you can come here and take on short-term or casual work while also learning the language, exploring the culture, and discovering parts of the country that tourists are allowed to stay less than a year, sometimes never see. Now, let's see who can actually apply for the working holiday visa in Italy. Well, as we have already mentioned, if you are an Aussie ranging between 18 and 30-year-old, chances are that you're ticking most of the boxes. Indeed, the application requirements are pretty straightforward, so nothing sneaky or complicated, I swear. Here's all you need to know. To apply, you'll need to be between the age of 18 and 35, a valid Australian passport, no kids tagging along, proof that you're in good health, a clean criminal record, and enough savings to support yourself. Usually around 3,000 euros, it's considered to be a decent amount, but of course a little more never hurts. So basically, if you're financially independent and you don't plan to move to Italy forever, not yet at least, then you're good to go. Now let's see together how you can actually apply to this working holiday visa. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Indeed, as it happens for most of these kinds of documents, the application process is not the quickest one. There is no click and go online forms like other countries offer, for example, as Italy likes to keep it old school, let's say, and so all the applications have to be done physically at the Italian consulate in Australia. This means that you will have to show up at their offices with all the required documents. But no worries, if you're organized and you know what to expect, it's totally manageable, and that's exactly what this guide is here for. So now let's see together how the process works step by step. Step number 1. Start by checking which consulate you fall under. Italy has consulate in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane and Perth. So where you live will determine which one you have to go to. Yes, unfortunately, you can't just randomly pick. Just remember that each consulate might have slightly different procedures and regulations. So it's always best to double check with their website for all the location-specific info. Second, remember to book your appointment early. Consulate appointments always book out very quickly, especially in peak travel season like mid-year or just before summer. So as soon as you have even just a rough idea of when you go to Italy, make sure to start applying, even if you're still finalizing your plans and it's well ahead of time. Better safe than sorry. Third, make sure to get all your documents together. You'll need to show up for the appointment with a full set of documents. If you forget even one of them, you can delay the whole process, or even worse, you may need to reschedule the appointment. We absolutely don't want this to happen, so let's see together all the documents that you will have to bring with you. First of all, a complete visa application form. You can download it from the consulate site. One recent passport-style photo, your Australian passport that has to be valid for 3 months after your return date, proof of travel insurance that will cover your entire stay, a bank statement showing that you have enough money to support yourself, They usually look for a minimum of 300 euros, but having more, it's always better. A copy of your return flight or proof that you have enough funds to buy one, a short cover letter outlining your travel plans. This is not mandatory in all the consulates, so make sure to check ahead. And here it's also a pro tip for you guys. It's not requested, but it's always a good idea to bring not only the original documents, but also a copy with you, just in case. Moving on to the fourth step, paying the visa fee. Of course, it could be subject to changes over the years, but as of now, the fee is of 116 euro paid in Australian dollars. Of course, payment methods vary depending on the consulate, with some accepting electronic payments and others taking only money orders. Again, also here, make sure to check your specific consulate regulations before arriving, so to be prepared. Step number 5, get ready to attend your in-person appointment. The consulate appointment is usually pretty quick if you've got all your paperwork ready. Of course, don't expect a super polished and straight procedure. Italian government offices and those that are overseas, make no exception, are famous for being very bureaucratic. So patience is key. And last but not least, step number 6, wait for processing. Once you've submitted your application, you will typically need to wait for 2 to 4 weeks to receive your working holiday visa. Of course, as we said, times can vary also depending on seasonality and the amount of applications that they have in that exact moment. So again, patience is key and it's always best to move well in advance. Okay, now that we've covered all the steps necessary to actually get the visa, let's see together some general questions that we often get asked by our students, because I'm sure that they may be very helpful also for you. Question number 1. Do I need to know Italian? The answer is not necessarily, especially if you plan to travel to big and touristy cities. That said, of course, even just few basics can really go a long way when you are in a completely different country. And also, Italians really appreciate the effort. Question number 2. Can I travel around Europe while on this visa? The answer is absolutely yes. This is actually one of the best perks that Aussies see in getting an Italian working holiday visa. Italy is right in the center of Europe, so you can basically pick every destination that you want for all the weekends that you're gonna be here, and within 2, 3, maximum 4 hours, you can be basically everywhere. And this means that you can travel freely to most EU countries, so no border checks and no extra visas needed. Of course, just keep in mind that some countries, such as the UK, may have their own regulations, and so for example, there you will actually need to do border controls. Always make sure to double check to avoid surprises. Question number 3. Can I study in Italy while on this visa? The answer is, of course, and that's actually what all of our students at Italian4Awhile do. They decide that once they come to Italy, they really want to learn the language and the culture, and so they subscribe to our language and cultural programs. But you could also do volunteering, photography workshops, cooking classes, whatever you may like. The only thing you actually can't do with this visa is a full-time university course. And last question number 4. Do I have to work while I'm there? The answer is no. Working is not mandatory, so it's completely up to you. Some people, as we already said, pick up some casual jobs to fund their travel experience. Others just want to be immersed in a different working environment. But other people just are not interested as this is an option, and so they just spend their 12 months traveling, learning about the language, the culture, and experiencing new places. So at this point, guys, you should have a much clearer idea of what this working holiday visa is, how it works, who can apply, etc. Before moving on to the next part, I want to ask you a question. Would you apply to this visa? Do you see the perks that it has, or maybe there's something that still it's a bit uncertain or unclear? If so, just make sure to let us know in the comments. I'll read you and get back to all of you. And now back to us. Before leaving you, I want to cover another important topic. What happens after you actually get the visa, you come to Italy, and the 12 months actually come to an end? Here, there's one important thing to say. The working holiday visa is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So once the 12 months are over, it cannot be renewed. Of course, if you want to keep staying in Italy, there are other options. For example, what all our students that want to stay for more than a year or that go back to Australia but then want to come back in Italy again is to do a study visa. If instead, for example, while your time here, you found a job that you actually like and want to stay to keep working, you could do a working visa. The third option is, of course, that you are completely satisfied with the 12 months that you spent in Italy and you're ready to go back home. And this, of course, it's a completely valuable option. Hopefully with some language skills and unforgettable memories that you'll bring with you. Okay, and with that I would say that it's really all for today, guys. To conclude, we can say that the working holiday visa is really a great chance to give you way more flexibility during your stay in Italy. Not only because you can decide to stay for up to 12 months, but also because if you want, you can also work in Italy. This visa really allows you to immerse yourself in the country and live like a local. And if you follow this guide step by step, to get your working holiday visa, it's gonna be a piece of cake. Again, if you have any question on the topic, make sure to let us know, I will reply. And as always, remember to like, comment, or just share with our friends our content. Till next time, ciao!